Okay, it's Sunday, 25th of November, 7:46 p.m. in Cyprus, and I've been at it for about 2 hours now, preparing, preparing the new and very exciting last trading week of November. Now, that means once we come to the 30th of November, which is going to be Friday, we will literally be done with trading for November, and we're going to be moving into the last and final trading month of the year. And drum roll, we need to make some effing money. And hopefully this report and this week is going to help us do that. So let's move on into this presentation and see how we do. So, do you live for the weekend? Well, congratulations to you. That's all you will ever have to live for. And people who live for the weekend are usually the people who work 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 to 7, 9 to 10, or whatever. And then they waste their time and money and get nothing in return. Listen, guys, it's very important that you need to invest, that you start investing your time into what you want to do. And here's a very good analogy that I found about saving or investing. It doesn't have much to do with the weekends and things like this, but in reality it does, because the weekends we spend a lot of money. The idea is pretty simple. Do you save or do you invest? And these are three questions which have three different, well, two the same answers and the third one's different. The first one is, do you still don't have an emergency fund to cover at least 3 months of expenses in case you get fired, lose your job, and so forth? Well, then you need to start saving. Creating a savings plan is pretty easy, and I'm going to go over a blog post one of these days about it, about creating a savings plan and how it can work for you, and why you need one. It's pretty logical. The second question is, you have a purchase coming in the next 5 years that will require a large amount of cash. Now, what I mean by this is, let's say down the line in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you want to buy a house maybe. Maybe you want to get married, or maybe you want to travel the world, or buy a new yellow Maserati, or I don't know, a white Porsche Panamera. I'm talking about myself now. But then you need to save. Finally, the last one is, you've got an emergency fund, you have enough cash to pay for the life you want to live, but you don't have any big incomes or spikes in your income. Well, then you need to invest. Now again, I'm going to be going over a special post about this, but here is how this works. Most of us spend plenty of money on the weekends, and that's fine. We want to live and enjoy our lives. Now, trading the financial markets, especially in day and swing trading, swing trading way, can really help you increase the income you make, and that's what Pips Matter is about. That's what I'm trying to do here. That's exactly what I'm doing. For the last couple of months, my trading has significantly improved, because my only goal right now, aside from improving myself and enjoying life, is to make weekly profits from trading the markets. And I'm doing that not only for myself, but I'm doing it for other people too. So, anyway, let's move on into the fundamentals of the week. Now, we've got plenty of things happening, lots of market movers, and we're going to be heading into the final month of the year, so it is very important that we all focus a lot. Now, we did have a very busy weekend, which will provide some good market open trading opportunities if you are staying awake for it. For example, if you live in Europe, if you live in the States and North America, South America, or Asia, you should probably be awake by then. But I'm going to be reverting back to these opportunities later on when we start getting more indications of the possible gaps that might happen. If you're unaware of what happened, basically the EU has approved the Brexit plan from the UK, so we could expect some gaps to the upside maybe from the pound, but we'll see. For now, we don't know. We have to wait at least another 2 to 3 hours to find out how big these gaps will be. Before the market opens, I've got a tool here that I use which provides me this information. So let's go over the fundamentals for the week. Now, before I go into the fundamentals, I want to explain to you guys why I go over fundamentals. I am a technical trader, but I use fundamentals to make short market moves entries, which last sometimes minutes or maybe a few hours, but not longer than that. And I focus on making money on them. Now, I'm very, very good at predicting these. And in my trading community, so if you go on pipsmatter.com and go into my trading room, you'll see 3 different rooms. The Q&A room, that's a free room. Then you have the trade alerts room that costs $20 a month. You only get trade alerts and some other perks. And the community. Now in the community, from December, I'm going to be live for every trading event there. Everything that can make us money. For this week, so this trading week, starting 26th of November, I'm going to be providing all of these services for free. Then you guys can be the judge and jury whether you should invest $47 in me and what I have to offer. So, Monday, New Zealand quarterly retail sales come out, and they could provide some volatility on the New Zealand dollar. Then we're followed by a RBA, which is the Royal Bank of Australia. The governor speaks. A little later after him, his assistant will speak as well, so we could see some spikes on the AUD. We also have a speech by Draghi, who is the president of the European Central Bank, and then we've got Carney, who is the president of the Bank of England Bank. He also speaks. So Monday is dominated by speeches and probably gaps. Moving on to Tuesday, we have the OPEC and GMMC meetings. They continue again. Oil has been moving down very, very well. I continue to sell it, by the way, but I did lock in profits, took some trades out, and re-entered when the market continued, when the market retested that level. I did release a video about this. We do get the U.S. consumer confidence, followed by the Royal Bank of New Zealand financial stability report, and a speech by the RBNZ governor. Moving on to Wednesday, another speech by the RBNZ governor, GBP, which is the UK bank stress test, the Bank of England financial stability report. Then we get a lot of news as well from the US, the preliminary quarterly results of the GDP, crude oil inventories, and the Fed chair speaks. Thursday, another busy day. New Zealand again, the ANZ business confidence, the AUD quarterly private capital expenditure, the G20 meetings start, the ECB president speaks again, the FOMC minutes, and moving on to Friday, we get Chinese data. Then we get a small report from the KOF, which is the Swiss economic barometer. This could be important for the Swiss franc. Rarely does it move on news, but when it does, it really makes a move. Then we have the Euro CPI data, and then finally the CAD monthly GDP. So as you can see, we do have an interesting trading week. We have plenty of red announcements coming out, which is not something that happens all the time in the last trading week of the month, but this one seems to be busy. Next one is even busier, so we need to prepare for that. So regarding the fundamentals, I'm not going to be going over them too much right now. I'm actually done with them for now. We are moving into one more page where I'm going to speak about market movers. So generally, politics will be the main focus for this trading week, as we do not get a lot of essential data, but we still have news which will still provide us with day trading opportunities. Like I told you guys, I like to trade the news for a minute or two or a couple of hours tops, but that's pretty much it. I like to get in, get out quick. Now, the Italian budget is in discussion, Brexit today, so market movement can happen when the market's open, and then we have more trade war stuff happening between the US and China, and these will be the decisive market movers this week. In terms of Brexit, like I said already 3 times, there are very good chances of gaps happening when the market opens. I will update my trading buddies in the Bromunity that I've got on Ecofin, which you should join, even the free one. And if you see value, then get the paid version as well. And you will see value. And then the trade war. Now, a key market theme at this moment is the important meeting that Trump and Xi Jinping will have, which is most likely going to happen on the 1st of December. Now, remember, the 1st of December, guys, the 1st of December is a Saturday. So the market could move and position itself all the way till Friday, and then Saturday is the meeting, and then Monday is big moves in the market, so we're going to be preparing ourselves for that. Moving on to my philosophy when trading fundamentals. The first one is a quote that I took of a gentleman, a very smart one. The obvious rarely happens, the unexpected constantly occurs. This is basically me telling you guys that whatever the market expects, I always try and go against it. Not the market, sorry, the media. And two is the chart never lies. So the market is the chart, I focus on my charts, and if the market expects if the news expects Brexit not to happen, I'm looking for reasons to make it happen. Of course, I follow trading rule number one, which is always check the upside and the downside, but Brexit, for example, was a big, big and profitable market mover, especially for those guys who went against the news. Trump winning the elections, if you check Pips Matter back then, just go on Facebook and just check the dates. You'll see that I was trading a pro-Trump win, and I made a lot of money and everybody who was following me. So that's the basic idea here. Anyway, now let's move over to the charts. We're going to be going over to the trading view charts, and we're going to start with my key trading pairs and the watch list which I prepared after analyzing 42 different forex and commodity pairs, 37 forex and 5 commodity pairs. I'm not touching indices right now, focusing all my capital on FX. I will be touching indices from the new month. Okay guys, hope you're excited. Let's move into the charts. In terms of my watch list, after reviewing every single pair there, so like I said, 37 FX pairs and 5 commodities, I've come up with a watch list of 21 different trade ideas. What you guys see here is the daily chart of Euro USD. We're going to go over to the weekly, and we have two indications of two different possible things happening here. Now, very important to note that this weekly watch list preparation is a pre-market open preparation. That means that I'm scouting the market. I've narrowed down the list to 21 different assets, and now I'm going to go into them more and more and more, and especially tomorrow morning when I get up, I'll have a more concrete plan of what I'm going to be trading. Euro USD, if we look outside of this blue, the blue trend lines, we would say it could be going up, because first of all we have a breakout of the orange market contraction here towards the downside. We have a strong bullish pin bar right there and an engulfing of the previous week, but then this week we had prices, last week we had prices move lower significantly. So Euro USD, I'd say it's more of an upside, but again we are below the DC and EMA combo. We did break out of it and we went right back into it, and then we're using the level here as a resistance, and we do have two nice little long-tailed bearish pin bars there and there. So we are retesting this level here. Now I'm not going to be acting on anything because the market hasn't opened yet. There's nothing happening. This is basically a wait and see kind of thing, but it's more being prepared to understand what we can do. In any case, you can see the blue trend lines here creating a falling wedge formation, which indicates that bullishness should come in the coming weeks. So if price action breaks below this orange trend line, I'm going to be looking to short it and continue then from the blue trend line higher, somewhere around between 111 and 112. Well, not 111 and 112. 112 and 113 is the range that I'm going to look to take Euro USD up based on what I'm seeing right now. So you guys need to remember that I am a reactive trader. So I see this now, but tomorrow something else might come up and we might be trading something else. Euro USD, we're looking to take it long. We'll see how that works out, and then we'll take it from there. USD JPY is the next pair. On the watch list, I'm looking to take this higher, and based on the US dollar index, this is what you're seeing now. I'm expecting the dollar to become stronger. So we have another wedge possible formation forming here, this time a rising one, indicating that the dollar should be weakening in the next 2 to 3 weeks if it doesn't break out from this trend line from now. I think that we should make another high, which should create us my favorite pattern, a free higher high formation, something like this, before moving lower. Now, I'm not a market what people call themselves, that they're visionaries and they can see things happening. I'm not that. I don't care about that. I care about making money tomorrow on Monday. So I'm going to be looking to take the dollar higher. USD JPY is the first solid pair, and I'm highlighting this here on my sheet as the first solid pair that I'm going to be looking to take up based on price action movement of the last week and the daily chart. So that's the first good one, AUD USD. Now check this out here. This looks like a solid one towards the upside as well. You can see this trend line here, the red one being broken and then retested last week. Still solid indications of an up move. We are below the DC and EMA combo on the weekly. We are above it on the daily, which should suggest that we could be moving higher. Now, on the daily, we can add this trend line here, which connects to the top, and that means that we could push higher, indicating to me a stronger AUD. Now, keep in mind we have a lot of AUD news coming out, so I'm going to be looking to take AUD USD higher. That's the second pair that's coming in my list. The third pair that we have is USD CHF. Not much going on over here. I'm going to show you this. We have a DC and EMA breakout on the daily. As you see, the weekly, not much happening. We have a bullish indication here. This is a bullish long-tailed bar indicating price action could go higher. But the previous week we have a strong engulfing and we have a double candle reversal pattern. So very mixed on USD CHF. We do have a breakout of the DC and EMA on the daily. We are moving higher, but we'll see how this actually works out. So if I'm going to connect these trend lines here, all the way from here, you can see that this is a possible resistance area and we could move lower. We'll see how price action plays out and we'll take it from there. USD CAD is the next pair. I found something on the weekly, but when I went to the daily, I didn't find anything. What I think could happen is price action could come up here again and make a double top, close around the 33 area before moving lower. But again, I don't like to predict. I like to trade what I see, and what I see here is actually nothing right now. So moving on to the next pair, NZD USD. NZD USD gives me good indications. Again, it's kind of mixed. On the weekly, it's giving me a buy signal. The DCMA is broken, telling me that we could go higher, but then when we come to the daily, we have more reasons to go lower because we did break out of this bottom trend line, but we could easily reverse back into this trading range. We do have a possible support area right there, so we could move higher, we could move lower. I don't know. I'm not going to touch it for now. Next pair number 7, Euro JPY. On Euro JPY, I give very good indications of a buy move. Check this out here. So we have this trend line supporting the bottom move. Just ignore the arrows. I'm gonna actually, let's remove them. So we have resistance, sorry, support, and then again more support here when we move down to the daily. DC and EMA is above price action on the weekly, and on the daily it's very close to price action. So we could move higher on Euro JPY. We could be creating a triple higher high here, higher lows, 1, 2, 3, which would tell me that we should be going upwards. So I'm going to look to long this most likely, and that is the third pair coming in my watch list. And as you can see, USD JPY was the first one going up, Euro JPY second one going up. Next is Euro CHF, a little mixed here. Check this out. So on the weekly, a big mess, breakout of this red trend line, strong move to the downside. But when we come to the daily, this is where the nice stuff happens. The daily, so we have a breakout of the red triangle pattern here. We're creating another one right there, possibly, and I expect price to possibly move higher on the daily. So Euro to start gaining, maybe because of the Brexit stuff, maybe because of Italy, we'll see. But then a move towards the downside, possibly to the 112.77 or 112.59 or 60 before moving higher. Again, I don't like to predict the market, but this is what price action is giving me so far. AUD-JPY, I'm still under that flu. AUD-JPY, good, very good indications of up. And as you can see, price action broke out of this trend line, broke out of the DC and EMA on the weekly. And if you move down to the daily, you see another beautiful thing happening right here. You can see this trend line remaining intact and price action indicating it should be going higher. Third pair going inside here, another one against the JPY. So good indications to me that the JPY should be strong. Next, sorry, the JPY should be weak. Next pair is this one. We've been looking at this for the third week in a row now. We have a breakout of the DC and EMA. I'll remove this for now. Trend line remains intact on Euro AUD. You can see it here, contraction, breakout, and then it just boom, reverse back into there. And what I think could happen is price action should make another retest of the 156-200 before maybe moving higher. Excuse me for coughing. CAD JPY. CAD is showing me weakness for some reason. I see further weakness. Maybe it's because of oil. CAD JPY, the only JPY pair which is giving me indications of going down. But last week's candle gave us a possible long-tailed bullish bar here, right there. On the weekly, on the daily, we have retested, oh my goodness, we have retested the trend line. We're still below the EMA and DC, so I think that CAD JPY could go lower. So I think that the weakest pair, the weakest link, should be the CAD this week, especially for the first 2-3 days. The second one should be the JPY. At least for now, that's what I see for now. EuroCAD on the daily is up. On the weekly, very dangerous because of this huge rejection of the buyers. You can see the buyers tried to go long and they got rejected big time. And on the daily, it just gives us another reason to get in because we had a breakout and now we have a retest of this level here. So EuroCAD up, and that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth pair out of 12 so far, which gives me good possibilities of doing some, well, earning some pips. Now, AUD-CAD, the strongest possible pair should be AUD, but we'll see how that works out. On the weekly, you can see a major retest of this area here, a very important area, right here. So this key trading area, right there, very important trading area. We made the test of it. We opened lower with a gap down the previous week. We made a retest of it again. We went down. We are above the DC and EMA, so I think that AUD-CAD could find strength to break out of this key trading level, which is 0.96 450, let's say. We'll see how that works out. You can see price action closing lower here. If we get to break out of this level, then we can go higher, above 97.97. GBP-CAD. GBP-CAD weekly, we have indications of going up. You can see that here with this trend line supporting the price action closing higher, higher lows. On the daily, however, we are a little mixed. I have nothing here, nothing major happening, but I think it's weaker CAD. Now, next one, 15th, AUD-NZD. I don't know if you're learning much with this, and my purpose is not for you to learn anything. This is more of me finding money-making opportunities. AUD-NZD, as you can see, is supported by this major trend line on the daily. Also on the weekly, you can see that working out very, very well. And guess what that creates to us? That creates to us 1, 2, and 3. We have a reversal candle playing out, so we have a red candle, new low, closed in the green. Very good, strong chances that AUD-NZD could go higher, and that is the 6th pair coming in my list out of 15 so far. I could drag this trend line even lower over here, and as you can see, it's even more stronger. This trend line right here, much more powerful. On the daily, oh my goodness, I keep coughing this. So on the daily, We need to break out of this trend line before we can secure ourselves a higher move. Then we need to break the DC and EMA, but the major trading levels or important trading ranges would be this here. As you can see exactly where we are right now. Previous support level acting as a resistance right now. Next is USD MXN, which is the Mexican peso. Contraction of price. We are at the top of a trading range. So naturally you would say it should go down, but when we come to the daily we have contraction of price, and that indicates to me that there is a bigger move cooking here. Whether that's USD Mexican peso jumping out of this trading range or it's continuing to go lower, we'll see, and when it moves we'll know because the alarms have been set. Euro NZD, a trade with main money on. Here it is. As you can see, triple support level here. We have a resistance right there, and then support now. Good indications of Euro NZD heading higher, which makes me think that the NZD might just be weak. On the daily, we have contraction of price, as you can see here, and we're waiting for a bigger move. So that's the next pair that's going in. And then we've got only a couple of them left, which is USD SGD Singaporean dollar. As well, contraction of price. Check this out. Even on the weekly, a strong contraction of price, telling me that there is a big move cooking. As you can see here, this is called contraction of price right there, and then price action just jumped out and continued a massive run. And you can see that in many scenarios, when price contracts, there is always a bigger move. So let's see how this works out. It could go down, it could go up, we don't know. On the weekly, we're above DC and EMA. On the daily, we're below it, but very close to price. So we'll see how that works out. The next pair is NZD CAD, which is pointing towards the downside, actually. My goodness, this coughing is going to get you guys annoyed. So here's why it's pointing to the downside, but that doesn't mean we should stop here. So that doesn't mean anything right now. Let me just check this out, what this is telling us. Nope, nowhere near. So the weekly, not much confirmation. We are above DC and EMA, so we could continue pushing higher. On the daily, we're also above DC and EMA, so maybe we make a push towards the downside a little bit before we end the week higher. But as you can see here, we have a resistance, now support level. So price action is closing above it, which could indicate that we could go higher. Finally, Euro SEK, Swedish krona. Another contraction of price on the euro. I'm expecting some big moves on the euro. Blue lines indicate falling wedge, contraction of price. Price action breaks out. You can see that on the daily even better. Price action breaks out. And now we're trying to break the DC and EMA and maybe try and go higher. But if you take a bigger look at it, we could face some resistance in this area. You can see here. Price action closing here and then finding resistance all the way there. In any case, we have contraction happening, so a bigger move should be expected. And finally, WTI, I continue to sell this one, and I have very good reasons to do so. Look at this is the weekly chart. Check this out. Regardless of which bottom level we're targeting, connecting it to this one, we've broken out of both of them, and we have very good indications of price action continuing lower. Now, if you've been in my trading room, you would know that I'm targeting, let me just show you this. I'm targeting 44, right there, 44,660 or 41,950. That's where I'm targeting. This is where I'm probably going to get out, in this range. So I'll continue to sell, and then I'm going to get out somewhere here. Okay, so that's my watch list. The main pairs that I'm going to be looking to trade this coming week, in the beginning of the week, is USD JPY long, AUD USD long, Euro JPY long, AUD JPY long, Euro CAD possibly long, AUD NZD, well, it's at a major resistance, so I'm looking to take that one long, Euro NZD also long, and WTI down. In any case, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.